LeBron James' agent justifies Nico Harrison's vision to trade Luka Doncic as the first anniversary of unfathomable deal nears. As the first anniversary of one of the most shocking and polarizing trades in modern NBA history approaches, the basketball world is once again revisiting a move that still feels almost impossible to comprehend. The decision by Mavericks general manager Nico Harrison to trade Luka Doncic sent shockwaves across the league, and even now, many fans and analysts remain stunned that Dallas willingly parted ways with a generational superstar. But now, in a surprising twist, LeBron James' agent has stepped into the conversation, offering a defense of Harrison's long-term vision and reigniting debate over whether the move was madness or misunderstood genius. At the time, the trade was widely labeled unfathomable. Luka Doncic wasn't just Dallas franchise player, he was the franchise. A perennial MVP candidate, a global superstar, and arguably the most gifted offensive player of his generation, Luka represented everything teams dream of building around. Trading him felt like basketball heresy. Fans protested, social media erupted, and the Mavericks front office faced relentless scrutiny. Yet, according to LeBron James' agent, the decision wasn't impulsive, it was calculated. In recent comments that quickly made headlines, the agent suggested that Nico Harrison was operating with a broader, more sustainable vision in mind. Rather than committing fully to a heliocentric offense built around one transcendent star, Harrison allegedly believed the Mavericks needed flexibility, balance, and long-term roster control to truly compete for championships. It's a philosophy that flies in the face of traditional superstar-centric thinking, but one that, in theory, could redefine how teams approach roster construction in the post-superteam era. That explanation, however, has only intensified the controversy. For many fans, there is no justification for trading a player like Luka Doncic, period. Stars of that caliber are once-in-a-generation gifts, and history suggests you don't trade them, you build around them at all costs. Dirk Nowitzki proved it in Dallas. LeBron proved it in Cleveland. Giannis proved it in Milwaukee. Letting Luka go felt like surrendering before the fight even began. But Harrison's defenders argue the situation wasn't that simple. Behind the scenes, questions reportedly lingered about roster flexibility, long-term salary constraints, and whether Dallas could realistically surround Luka with enough elite talent to win multiple championships. Luka's ball-dominant style required very specific roster fits, and repeated playoff exits raised doubts about whether the Maverick ceiling had already been reached. In that context, Harrison's gamble begins to look less reckless, and more like a high-risk attempt to reset the franchise's trajectory. LeBron James' agent's comments add weight to that argument, especially given his proximity to league power dynamics. Agents see the league differently than fans do. They understand cap structures, ownership pressure, player timelines, and organizational patience, or lack thereof. When an agent of that stature publicly supports a move this controversial, it forces the basketball world to pause and reconsider. Still, the timing of these remarks is impossible to ignore. With the trade's one-year anniversary approaching, emotions remain raw in Dallas. Some fans have softened their stance, acknowledging that the post-Luka era has brought improved depth and flexibility. Others remain unforgiving, convinced the franchise committed an unforgivable sin that will haunt them for decades. Every strong performance by Luka with his new team reopens the wound, while every Mavericks loss fuels the narrative that Harrison bet against greatness and lost. What makes this situation even more compelling is what it says about the NBA's shifting power structure. For years, the league has revolved around individual superstars. But recent champions have emphasized depth, versatility, and two-way balance. Harrison's move may represent an attempt to get ahead of that trend, even if it meant sacrificing a generational talent to do so. And then there's LeBron James himself. Though he wasn't directly involved in the trade, his agent's defense of Harrison's vision inevitably draws LeBron into the conversation. LeBron has long been both the beneficiary and the victim of front office decisions driven by championship urgency. His career has shown that even the greatest players need the right organizational support to win. Perhaps that perspective is exactly why his agent sees logic where others see lunacy. But logic doesn't always equal success. As the anniversary nears, the trade remains a Rorschach test for NBA fans. If Dallas ultimately builds a contender through depth and flexibility, Harrison may be remembered as a visionary who dared to challenge convention. If not, the Luka trade could go down as one of the greatest miscalculations in sports history. For now, the debate rages on. The agent's comments haven't closed the case, they've reopened it. They've reminded everyone that NBA decisions aren't made in a vacuum, and that sometimes, the most controversial moves are driven by beliefs fans never fully see. Whether Nico Harrison's vision was bold brilliance or catastrophic hubris may not be clear for years. But one thing is certain, As long as Luka Doncic continues to shine, and as long as the Mavericks search for validation, this trade will never truly fade into history.